Hi, Scorpio. Welcome to your January through June 2023 reading. It's been a while. I'm so glad to be back doing these readings. I'm hoping that I can come back on a monthly basis, but I'm not sure yet. It's sort of like a day-to-day process. So we'll see how this goes first. And as we get closer to February, we'll see what kind of time and energy I have. Really, I'm not somebody that's forcing anything in my life, and that includes doing readings on YouTube. Like, I know that you guys really enjoy it, but I'm listening. My body is my compass from here on out in my life. It's like, that's just the way that it is. So if you would like to get your own 6-month tarot predictions, you can do that by going to my website. All of the information is in the description box. I also have other readings available if you don't want to go do the 6-month prediction. I have 30-minute tarot readings if you just have a specific thing you want to talk about. They're only $60 in January. After I have booked up January, they will no longer be available at $60. Their prices will go up. So let's get to it. You can do that. You can watch this for your sun, moon, and rising as well. Remember that part. So we're going to do it a little differently this year. We're going to start with the Power of Surrender card, and we're going to see what it is you guys will be surrendering for 2023, or the beginning of it, at least the first half. And then we will go through each month, January through June, and choose a theme. I have all of the major arcanas and all the 4 aces in this deck. And we'll pick an overlying theme for each month, and then we'll go back through each month, and we'll clarify the theme. And woo, nice. Definitely can see this for you guys, for sure. Surrender to rest and sleep. To prevent burnout, slow down. Honor your need for quiet time and peaceful sleep to rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit. You know, one of the things that I've learned this last year is that I wasn't sleeping enough. I wasn't getting enough rest, even though like I need 8 hours of sleep. I probably need like a good 6 to 7 hours of sleep to function. But I need a good 8 hours of sleep to feel like I'm rested. And I stopped depriving myself of that because for years, I'm a mom to 3 boys. Do you think that I actually slept for 20 years of my life while raising my children? No, it's easier to sleep now that they're all older. But it took a while for me to realize that the best way for me to heal my body, for me to heal my mind, for me to heal even my spirit, was to get some more sleep. And so I take naps. If I need to take naps, I listen to my body. That's probably one of the reasons why I talked about that at the beginning of the video with you guys, is I'm listening to my body from here on out. There is nobody can say or do anything to me to make me change my mind when it comes to how my body feels. That's just the way that it's going to be. Oh, they want me to shuffle one more time. Sometimes they throw a card out for January and they tell me that they're ready, but they just wanted me to go through and shuffle one more time. Okay. So for January, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Yay. Yay, January. February, we have the Devil. March, we have the Sun. April, we have the Chariot. May, we have the Ace of Pentacles. And June, we have Justice. Okay, so we're starting the year with a shift, which is awesome. I got to say that January, the first couple months of the readings, I've done 7 readings now, and the first couple, January and February, have been a little bit rocky, in the reading sector for everybody. Nobody is coming out unscathed when it comes to these readings in big ways. So really just paying attention to how you are responding and how you're moving through these shifts and changes. That's going to be huge for you. I think that you're going to get some clarity on a work situation or something that you're learning. I feel like someone is changing their job. Like, that's what this feels like to me. And I feel like some of you are going to have to move, but you're going to receive the money to be able to do the move. But this is all going to bring some balance. It's almost as if you're like going to become an advocate as well for some people. But I feel like there's some kind of shift or change in the job scene. So let's just get into it. Let's see. So we start with January with the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is ruled by Jupiter. We love that about the Wheel of Fortune. It's always nice to remember that the Wheel of Fortune happens in divine timing. So that shift may not necessarily look exactly the way that you want it to look, and it may not happen exactly the way that you want it to look, or want it to happen, but there's definitely something coming. And I feel like you're just done fighting as well. And I think that you're done fighting with an earth sign. It may even not be that you're done fighting with an earth sign. It may be that you may have earth in your chart, or you may have an earth sign out there telling you to stop fighting. So there could be a couple of different, this could be like the Capricorn that's here as well, but we have the Queen of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, and the World. I feel there's something that the shift the thing that's really going to help the shift happen for you is the closing of a cycle where you're just constantly fighting against things. And it could be that you're constantly fighting against an earth sign and you're just done with it. Like, you don't want to do that anymore. You don't want to argue with the earth sign. You don't want to, you don't want to. But there's a struggle that's going on. And the Five of Wands sometimes is an internal battle. Can very much be an internal battle. Okay. Yeah. And I do think that for you, it might be an internal battle, to be quite honest. We have Justice on the Queen of Pentacles. For some of you, the shift is that you've decided that you're going to actually divorce an earth sign. This could be legalities that are going to be happening, but that's the shift. Or with Justice, she has the Wheel of Fortune above her head as well. So whenever I see the Justice card, I know that this is part of the shift, the balancing, like you're trying to find balance within what's going on. The King of Cups with the Five of Wands, this is what I mean about arguing internally. And it could be that you're worried about what this person is thinking about you or something like that. It could be a Libra energy that this earth sign is. But whatever it is that you're still struggling with outside of you, that reconciliation comes from within first. I know that you feel like sometimes you need to have closure with other people, or you need to like we tell ourselves all these really silly like rules and like things that we have to go by. And, and a lot of times all of that's like bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's the way that we were programmed. It's the way that we believe that relationships are supposed to go. But this Five of Wands feels very much like that internal struggle for you with that King of Wands sitting there. That's your Scorpio energy. And then we have the Four of Swords on the World. So as you're allowing this cycle to end, instead of you continuously arguing with yourself, or instead of continuously arguing with another party that's in your situation or in your space, the Four of Swords is asking you to heal. Oftentimes I see the Four of Swords as the minor arcana of the Hanged Man. And we place ourselves in that Hanged Man position or in this healing type of position so that we can get some clarity, so that we can get some closure within ourselves, because having closure within ourselves is much more important than trying to seek out closure from somewhere else, right? So it definitely feels like that there is the closing of a cycle, and part of that is the way that you're responding to it. You can argue about the situation, or you can say, I'm just done. Like, I'm not going to expend any more of my energy to people that, first of all, don't listen to me, and second of all, aren't even like a part of whatever it is that I'm doing. Like, it doesn't even matter anymore. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. So then we get to February and we have the devil. The devil energy can be about work. The devil energy can be about a lesson that we're learning. Very Saturnian. The devil energy, you know, it's oftentimes like about something that we're like evolving through. And I do feel in a lot of ways that you feel betrayed by this earth sign. Like, there is some kind of you know, like needing to stand, you know, like you feel like you need to stand up for yourself in some way, shape, or form. We have the Hermit. We have the Seven of Swords. And we have the Queen of Swords. So, like, I feel like there's this aspect where you're trying to stand your ground. The Seven of Swords is very much a betrayal type of energy. It's almost as if like you're on this journey. Like, the Hermit's journey is really about staying to yourself, but I feel like somebody else is staying to themselves. Like, if this is in a relationship type of thing and it's not a work energy, I feel like you feel betrayed because someone has disappeared. Someone has decided they're going to focus on their own journey and they don't want to focus on your journey at the same time. So I think that this is sort of a valuable lesson in recognizing that everybody has a journey and we can't control what other people are going to be doing with their journeys at all. We can't control the choices that they're going to make. We can't control the way that the directions that they're going to go in. So really letting yourself just keep focusing on what it is that you need to do. Okay, this could also be an Aquarius betrayal as well. But really focusing on what it is that you need to do and continuing to move forward. And in part of that is making the right decisions for yourself. If this person who has betrayed you over and over and over again insists on still being in your space in some way, shape, or form, you've got to put your foot down. And I feel like that's what this Queen of Swords is telling you. The Seven of Cups with the Hermit. This Virgo energy feels very confusing for you. And I think that part of the reason why you're confused is because you're like, I just don't understand. Like, I'm really trying to do my part and I'm really trying to move in the direction that I want to go in. But this other person in my life is not cooperating with the whole situation. And when that happens, it is time for you to make a decision to remove that substance from your life. I know that that sounds kind of harsh to do, but like, I'm just going to be honest with you. If there are relationships in my life that I'm trying and I'm trying and I'm trying and I'm trying, and it feels like the alignment is no longer there and I'm trying to force things to work out, I get exhausted in every single way, shape, or form. Like, it has everything to do with how I'm treating myself, and it has nothing to do with what the other person is doing. Because at the end of the day, I'm responsible for who I have in my space. And if I have people in my space that are exhausting me, I don't have time for that. Like, especially now in my life, I don't have time for that. So that was one of the things that I really learned about myself this year is, my journey is more important than trying to fix the betrayal of another person over and over and over again. And if that person continues to put me in a confusing state where I feel like I'm losing my mind, I walk away. I remove my presence. And that, honestly, like, that's worse than me getting into an argument with you. That's worse than me yelling or screaming or trying to get you to understand my point of view. Me removing myself completely from the situation is 100% like, I'm done. And if you want to try and reconcile whatever it is that you want to try and reconcile, you need to come to me and you need to ask to reconcile it. It is not up to me to try and have that conversation, especially if I've already said, let's have this conversation and you ignored it. Do you see what I'm coming from? I don't want to like harp on the issue, but it really feels like you could be dealing with a Libra energy, an Aquarius energy, or a Virgo energy, or all of them. But if you have Libra energy in your chart along with Scorpio, you are creating these shifts by putting your foot down. I will no longer accept the ways that you've made me feel small. I will no longer do that. And I feel like that's a really big lesson for you. And it's not an easy one, but it's not the hardest one either. To put your foot down, to learn how to put your foot down and say, no, you don't get to be this person to me anymore. Right? Like, we have that responsibility to ourselves to use the word no. Then we have March, where we have the sun. And with the sun, it's awesome that we have the sun, because I feel like there's going to be clarity. I feel like in March, things start to really begin to open up, and the clarity of so much that you have been confused about, that 7 of Cups on the Hermit on this journey, everything has been so confusing up until now. And now you're going to have a lot of clarity and be able to make decisions, right? We would hope, right? So you gotta make the decisions with your intuition. That's why the sun is here, to bring clarity to you. First of all, you don't gotta do anything, but it would be advisable if you listened to your intuition when you get that point at the crossroads. I feel like you're stepping into March in a very, very creative position and a very, very creative way. See where Venus is in your chart during March. That's probably going to help a lot. And then we have we have the Empress, the High Priestess, and we have the Two of Wands. This is what I'm talking about. When you get to that position where you feel like you're at a crossroads and you need to make a decision, like, he can sit here talking to that bird all day long if he wants. He's tied to one wand. His hand is tied to one wand. His foot's tied to the other wand. But if he doesn't move, he's going to have to eat. He's going to have to use the restroom. Like, there are things that he's going to have to do. So you're going to have to make that decision. Don't settle by not listening to your intuition. Every time we don't listen to our intuition, we're settling. And that's when all of those like what ifs come up in our mind, or we think that things are going to be so like crazy and off. Basically, if we listen to our gut instinct on what it is that we need to do. And you can say, Betsy, well, I don't know what it feels like to listen to my gut instinct. Listening to your gut instinct and making the choice from your gut instinct it might be a little scary sometimes, but it feels better than maybe listening to the crowd or listening to other people's opinions on what to do. Like, if you feel like it's time for you to change your job, it's time for you to change your job. What other people say about that doesn't matter. Period. It doesn't matter. If you feel like it's time to end a relationship or it's time to remove somebody from your space, let's do that. Let's not listen to other people who are like, well, this is the best relationship you've ever been in. Maybe from their perspective, but they don't have to be in the relationship you do. Right? Do you see where I'm coming from? So really listening to your intuition, and it's opening you up to some pretty creative efforts. And I think that that's bringing some clarity to you. It's starting you on a new journey, starting you on a new path. I love it when the energies make me the student and not just the teacher. Sometimes it's really exhausting just being the teacher, to be quite honest. Like, I want to learn new things. I want to see new stuff with with brand new eyes. Like, there's so much more that I have going for me sometimes when I listen to my intuition instead of just listening to whatever's going on around me and what other people think. The Page of Pentacles and the Empress. There is a clear-cut journey that you're starting. And it's like the Empress is the beginning of life. She is the creation. And the Page of Pentacles is the student. So there really feels like there's this brand new journey. You could be starting school again. It may be that you want to start school again, or you could just be learning something new. We have the Chariot with the High Priestess. You know that it's time to move. You know that it's time to do something different. We also have the Chariot here for April. So leading from March into April, there's definite movement on your journey. Now, whether that means you're physically moving or whether that means that there's something dramatically changing in your atmosphere, you intuitively know with that High Priestess, you already know what it is that you want to do. And so allowing yourself to start moving in that direction will open the doors for you. And if it's not the thing that you thought that you were supposed to be doing, those doors won't open effortlessly. It'll be a lot more difficult. And then we have the 8 of Cups with the 10 of Cups on the 2 of Wands. When in doubt, listen to your intuition. Again, you know that whatever it is that you're emotionally attached to in this situation, if you walk away from it, you're going to be so much happier, Scorpio. You just will. Like, you'll be so much happier. My fluorite was sitting. So here we go. You'll just be so much happier. It just feels easier in your soul when you're not trapping yourself into something, because this 2 of Wands feels very much like a trap. Like you feel tethered to something, and you know, when you get tethered to something, it's time for you to start moving, start shifting yourself. So I don't necessarily know. You might even be just going on a trip too. Like this may be just like a shift in energy so that you can go on a trip as well. But you're starting something new. And I think that that's amazing. Got to have faith in yourself during this time, because that sometimes can be the hardest part, is having the faith in yourself. So then we have the Chariot for April. So they're still pushing forward, still movement forward. And I think that you're starting to recognize by April, the changes that you've made are actually bringing stability into your life. And being patient with all of this is going to be a really advantageous way to look at stuff. So we have the 4 of Wands. I love the 4 of Wands. This is a happy home, a happy stability. And then we have the 10 of Pentacles, same thing, stability, feeling really good about the position that you're in. Some of you are actually moving homes in April. And then Temperance is the patience and the balance, and the knowing, the making choices and decisions with the heart and the mind, the being, not necessarily just logical about stuff, but listening to your intuition as well. So let's see what this 4 of Wands is. For some of you, you're just moving into a much more stable time. But for some of you, I do feel like there's an actual physical movement that's going to be happening. And it could be a job movement as well. But there is evolution going on here. Okay. So we have the 4 of Wands, Queen of Wands, and the Strength card. You could have a Leo around you. And you could be either moving away from a Leo or moving towards a Leo. But I do feel like there's this energy of, there's a protective energy very much with these 3 cards. It's like you want to be able to protect your stability. I see the Strength card often like it's very much resilient. And the thing about resilience is it's kind of been given a bad name at times, because people are like, I don't want to be resilient anymore. I don't want to go through the experiences and situations that cause me to have to be resilient. Now, here's the thing, is I've learned so much about resiliency in the last year, and the things that are going on in the world and the stuff that happens in your life doesn't just stop happening. Like, I've been through a lot, and I think probably getting cancer was the most difficult situation I've ever been placed with. And I've been through many, many difficult situations in my life, some pretty difficult ones. And if it wasn't for me being a really strong person and being resilient and being able to get through this situation, I probably would have suffered more. But knowing how strong of a person I am, and not being humble about how strong I am, really created a lot of stability that I didn't realize that I needed at the time. So there may be a Leo in your life that's showing you about resiliency and stability in that way. The Devil and the 10 of Pentacles. If it's not a Leo, then it's some other fire sign. The Devil and the 10 of Pentacles. So this is where I feel like maybe this change and shift in this move has to do with a job. And recognizing that you are strong enough to do anything, and recognizing that if you want to have this happily ever after, this 10 of Pentacles lifestyle with the home and the family and the dog in the yard and the white picket fence or whatever it is that you want to do, that you are strong enough to do that. You've been through enough lessons to understand that you can create that for yourself. And then we have the Death card with Temperance. We go through these death and rebirth cycles nearly every day. It's almost like every single day we're going through the death and rebirth cycles. And I think that the biggest part of going through the death and rebirth cycles is seeing the balance of energies happen as it goes along. It's very uncomfortable, right? The Death card is very uncomfortable. It's very evolution, right? And evolution isn't just necessarily like, oh, that person needs to evolve more. No, it's not just a positive thing that happens to people. Evolution is where we find ourselves in our darkest days and we recognize our resilience and we build back up from that. That's what evolution is. But it doesn't happen overnight. And and recognizing that you're going to be a different person every single day and you start from there. You don't start from where you used to be. You don't start from where you want to be. You start from who you are right now and where you're coming from right now. And that's going to create this movement forward into stability. Okay. Then we have, for May, we have the Ace of Pentacles. Now, aces, I put them in that deck because aces are gifts from the universe. And oftentimes we don't necessarily see these gifts from the universe until we're ready to see them. Oftentimes we are really, really stuck in this lack mentality when the universe is literally like, if you're just patient a little bit longer, you're going to understand that you're not necessarily lacking in anything. It's an idea that you're lacking in something because you think that you have to have a certain amount of money on you at all times to be successful. You think that you have to be making a certain amount of money to be successful. You think like all of those things that the patriarchy, programmed into our mind to make us be in this kind of lack mentality. It will get easier. The Six of Swords is moving from rough waters into calmer waters. And then we have the moon. So I don't know that this Ace of Pentacles is not going to be readily seen as you're moving into May. You may, because changes and shifts and evolution can often put that fear programming back into us. And then we fall back into like old habits of doing things so that we can crawl out of whatever, right? So let's clarify this Five of Pentacles. Woof. Yes, my friend. Okay, so, oh yeah. See, the Five of Pentacles and it's being clarified by the Three of Wands and the Knight of Wands. The Five of Pentacles is just because you feel like you have a decision that you need to make and you're not entirely sure of what that looks like yet with this Knight of Wands. The Three of Wands makes me feel like you're waiting for that ship to come in for you, when in reality, it might be that you just need to just be in that liminal space. Just sit there, feel the discomfort of it. Be like, I don't ever want to feel this kind of discomfort again. And then build your life around not wanting to feel that kind of discomfort again. And in a lot of ways, we begin to recognize when we do that, that all of the choices that we've made brought us exactly where we are right now. And if maybe we would have just, tweaked this part, that it wouldn't be so hard. It wouldn't be so difficult. But I do feel like whatever it is that you're waiting to happen for you is coming, and it's about to happen. You got to let go, though. The 10 of Wands is telling you that it's time for you to put everything down. You don't have to carry the heavy load anymore. And you're almost at the end of all of this. So there's a lot of moving away from the drama of things, the difficulty of things, the having to keep things together for other people. And then we have the Magician on the moon. And this is amazing because, first of all, I really want you to manifest during the new moon and the full moon phases in May. I feel like there's a lot that can happen through that because you're putting your energy into the shifts and the changes instead of just closing your eyes to them. Like you're actually putting your intentions in the way that you want to see your life change. And I truly believe that by the end of May, there's going to be a lot more clarity to what's happening in your life than the beginning of it. In the beginning, you might be a little bit confused, but towards the end of May, I think that you are making the adjustments that are going to make you feel a lot better. Okay, and now we have Justice for June. And Justice is the Libra energy. So again, you may have Libra in your chart. There we have that Earth sign again. And the movement. 2 Earth signs. Okay. We have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Chariot. We have the King of Pentacles. And we have the Fool. It's so interesting because I feel like that this is about having faith in the direction that you're supposed to be going in. It does feel like I feel like these people, these earth sign people that are around you are actually being supportive. Like there's a support for you during this time if you need it. And so really, and I feel like that's part of having faith. Like the Fool is about having faith. And the more we allow ourselves to have faith on the next, like you may not know everything that's going to happen next, but having faith that you're being supported. Do you have to know what's going to be coming next? That's the thing, is that when we're in survival mode, we go through these phases of needing to know what it is that's going to be happening next. And unfortunately, that's just not the reality of situations. Okay, so the 3 of Cups on the Queen of Pentacles, rely on your friends. Your friends are here for a reason. I don't read the 3 of Cups as a third-party situation. If there's a third-party situation going on, whether it's a job situation, whether anything that gets in the middle of your relationship, doesn't have to be another person, that's considered a third-party situation. I'm not even going to, we're not going to even argue about it. If there's a third-party situation going on in your life, you need to address it, period. But to me, the 3 of Cups is about you and me coming together and making a third energy, which is Source. And when we do that, everything is possible. Everything is possible. So let's see the Chariot. Oh, yes. Going towards love, going towards money. Love that. Okay. King of Pentacles. And the Fool. Okay. So, love this. So on the Chariot with the Ace of Pentacles and the 2 of Cups. Look at that. Moving towards gifts, moving towards, so it could be that this earth sign, maybe you're meeting an earth sign that's kind of a soulmate energy. Doesn't have to be a romantic soulmate energy. It could just be a friend. that's showing up for you. But I feel like this is that justice. This is that balance that you've been looking for all year and you've been working towards all year. And it's finally, it may not be like, boom, right there showing up, but like it feels like it's trickling in. It may be pouring in for some of you, but I do feel like there's this kind of relief that's happening. There is another earth sign that is in limbo. You might be in limbo about the earth sign. But this Hanged Man on the King of Pentacles makes me feel like you have to look at this person in a different way. Whoever this King of Pentacles might be for you, the King of Pentacles is usually the person that's in your life that was like a really solid person in your life for a while. And they, it's like, they may have been solid for a while and maybe they're not solid anymore. And that's why you kind of have to look at things in a different perspective with them. And then we have the Four of Cups on the Fool. I love that the Four of Cups came out on the Fool, because in this deck, it's very much about sitting in your energy. It's not necessarily about like ignoring the gifts of the universe, but more like it's sitting in your energy and it's meditation. So if you're not exactly sure what this leap of faith is that you're supposed to be taking, if you're kind of confused on it, I want you to sit with yourself. I want you to go within. I want you to get grounded every single day. And I want you to recognize that the choices that you're making in faith all the time are affecting you. So you want to be super intentional with that Fool energy. You don't want to just you want to make sure that you're discerning things. But I think by mid-year, the energy really starts opening up for you guys in like fascinating ways. So don't give up before you get there, because some of these parts before we get to the fascinating parts are going to be a little rocky and a little roller coaster. So I love you guys. Again, if you want to get your own 6-month prediction reading, they are usually pretty darn accurate, especially the personal ones. You can go to my website. The information is in the description box. You can also, there are other readings also available. So I love you guys. Take care. Have a wonderful 2023. See you soon.